Locals, regionals, treasure cups? Have events been cooking you? Wouldn't you rather be cooking with events? Well then, look no further than OP12 Legacy of the Masters brand new leader, Purple Blue Sanji. And if you'd like to learn how to play him, here's everything you need to know. Blue Purple Sanji is a 4-life 5k power leader that allows you to activate main once per turn, Dawn -1, activate up to 1 event with Straw Hat Crew type, and an original cost of 3 or less from your hand, while also having a when attacking ability that says if the number of Dawn on your board is equal to or less than your opponent's, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested, allowing us to ramp back up from our previous leader ability. So let's go over that, shall we? Sanji's leader ability lets us play our 3-cost event cards for the measly cost of -1 Dawn, with a when attacking ability that brings us back the Dawn we minused, allowing us to mitigate Dawn loss to stay on curve with our opponent. Contingent, of course, on other minuses that happen during this turn. Very cool, and I always dig when Bandai tries to give us leaders that focus on events. So what are we looking to do with this deck? Well, we're going to take advantage of Blue's event card pool and OP12's new set of Sanji specific cards, as well as other powerful purple cards. We'll also take notice here that Sanji has 2 specific things for his leader ability to bear in mind for our deck building. Those are the words Straw Hat Crew type and event. So what cards are going in our deck? Well, we know as many good events as we can, but also a whole slew of OP12 cards. Starting us off, Charlotte Pudding is a 1-cost 2k power 1k counter searcher. With an on-play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Sanji or event card, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Also joining us as our 3rd Pudding Searcher card in the game. Speaking of Sanji, he comes to us in this set as a 3-cost 5k power character with an entirely passive effect. For every 5 events in your trash, this character gains plus 1000 power, and when this character would leave the field due to your opponent's effects, you may instead return 1 Dawn to your Dawn deck. This Sanji is basically an event-based Jesus Burgess, which makes its power gain threshold a little hard. Like Burgess, it's insulated from removal effects, but unlike Burgess, it costs us something to protect it. Do note, however, that it doesn't say once per turn, so we can theoretically always protect this Sanji, or any of our other Sanjis, from removal-based effects by Dawn minusing 1. Another thing to keep in mind is if you have 2 of these Sanjis on the field and they both get gravity bladed, you will have to pay the Dawn minus for each individual Sanji, as it is not a blanket effect for the board. These Sanjis oftentimes don't go past plus 2k with 10 events in the trash, but weaving in playing these characters really helps put the pressure on our opponent. Another card that checks our trash for events is Vinsmoke Reiju, a 4-cost 5k power 1k counter character that has a passive ability. If we have 4 events in our trash, this character gains plus 2k power, plus 5 to cost, and blocker. This card is insanely hard to remove, and oftentimes you can get 4 events in the trash by turn 4, the same turn you play her. This card is an insane nuisance to our opponent, as the resources to remove it oftentimes divert attention away from our leader for a full turn, allowing us to really space out our gameplay the way we need to, creating much needed breathing room as we set up for other board pieces. This Reiju is a valuable mid-range threat while doubling as a blocker that our opponents need to respect, which actually helps our overall game plan. The same way our members help our overall game plan by supporting this channel and receiving full access to all of our videos up to 2 weeks early, as well as emotes and other great perks. Without your support, we couldn't do videos like our latest Curse tournament and more. As we finish with our cards from OP12, we'll take a look at previous set characters to help round out our game plan. Starting with the man and the menace himself, 6-cost Monkey D. Luffy, a 7k power with an on-play when attacking, Dawn -2. If your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 5 or more Dawn cards on their field, your Straw Hat Crew type leader's base power becomes 7k until the end of your opponent's next end phase. This Luffy helps bring our leader into mid-range while allowing our events to cover less ground for counter power. With the amount of searchers and draw we'll be doing in this deck to confidently pull him out when we need him, it makes sense to run this character to improve our offensive and defensive capabilities. Its Dawn minus also doesn't exactly hurt us, as we're able to recover Dawn from our leader swings. Jozu is a 6-cost 7k power 1k counter. With an on-play, you may return one of your characters other than this character to the owner's hand. Return up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less to the owner's hand. This is great for when we play out 2k counters like Kaya, which I'll talk about later. 6-cost 6k power 2k counter blocker Sanji is also extremely good for us. Plus, we're often at that 2 Dawn or less threshold with the amount of minus abilities we're able to do. Following us into the 2k counter pile are Kaya, a 1-cost 0k power, on-play draw 2 trash 2, Gion, a 4-cost 5k power, your turn, once per turn, When your opponent activates an event, your opponent places one card from their hand at the bottom of the deck, which is perfect for all the Gum Gum Giants rolling around. And Hitokiri Kamazo, a 4-cost 5k power, your turn once per turn. When you return a Dawn card on your field to your Dawn deck, KO up to one of your opponent's characters of a cost 2 or less, such as 1-cost Buggy and 2-cost Boa Hancock from Rayleigh decks. Tap searchers like Jewelry Bonnie or Man Sherry from OPO5. And of course, we're a blue deck, so we have access to 4-cost Pudding. Do we know the drill on this card? We should by now, right? Well, for our new players, on play she takes the opponent's hand and shuffles it back into their deck, forcing your opponent to draw a new 5-card hand. Really good for decks that like to have a ton of cards in their hand or for throwing opponents off their on-curve plays. So you'll notice our character count is surprisingly low in relation to other decks. Most Sanji lists seem to run only 6 to 7 character types at a ratio of around 18 to 22 characters. That's around 36 to 44% of your deck being characters. Putting that into perspective, most decks run 32% events. With that being said, let's run over the other 56% of our deck. Our events. Well, as advertised, this leader lets us play events in a way that might not be obviously powerful. But when you do, it'll be insanely impactful. Starting with our searcher events, Luffy is the man that will become king of the pirates. Is a purple 1-cost search event that allows us to look at the top 3 of our deck and take 1 card to our hand and the rest to the bottom of our deck in any order, provided our leader is Sanji. Breaking that down, that is any card. We don't have to reveal it. With this card, we'll be looking primarily for our tech pieces and Reiju. Fun fact, Green Zoro has an event card in OP12 that has the exact same name. Really cool for the Wings of the Future Pirate King. Let's Crash That Wedding is a 1-cost blue event that checks if our leader is multicolored, allowing us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck and reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card other than this one and add it to our hand, with the rest to the bottom. Trigger, activate this main event. And since we're purple and we also run Hitokiri Kamazo, we can also consider running When You're at Sea, You Fight Pirates, a 1-cost search event that looks at the top 3 for a Kid Pirates, Heart Pirates, or Straw Hat Crew type, send the rest to the bottom in any order, trigger, activate main. 3 searcher events and a searcher character. Oh yeah, we're definitely finding our pieces. Okay, we get it. We can find things, but is that all we're doing? With our leader's ability in mind, we can only play events that cost 3 or less for Dawn -1. So thankfully, OP12 has given us a whole bunch of 3-cost and lower event cards. Buff Burst is a 3-cost blue event with a choose your own adventure main effect. Provided your leader is multicolored, you may either return up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters to its owner's hand, or if your hand size is 6 or fewer, draw 2 cards. This card is amazing as it is essentially a free draw 2 in combination with our leader's ability and our leaders when attacking. Do remember, if this card is your 7th card in hand and you play this, then your hand size is now 6 and you are able to draw 2 cards. Brochet Blow is another 3-cost purple event that checks if the number of Dawn cards on our field is equal to or lower than the number on our opponent's field, to draw 1 card. Then up to one of our opponent's characters gets -3k power during this turn. This card is perfect for our leader ability and to bring large bodies into attack range that can't be bounced with Buff Burst. Drawing us a card also helps replace it in hand, which is always handy. And last of the new event cards is Concassar, a 1-cost blue event that on main lets us draw 1 card, and on counter gives our leader +4k power for the battle, provided we have 4 events in the trash. This is funnily enough a good extension piece for getting a Dawn to rest for our leader ability if we don't have anything to play necessarily, or if we need to dig for something specific. On the other turn, its usefulness shines more clearly, but don't forget, this only helps defend our leader. And of course, there are other generically powerful event cards in blue and purple. Gum Gum Jet Culverin is a 3-cost main event that lets us place up to one of our opponent's original 4 or less characters to the bottom of their deck. Trigger, place 1 character with a cost 1 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. This card helps to punt a card out of the board to alleviate some pressure and hit some great targets. Monkey D. Luffy and Koina being great ones to name for this set. This event can also be activated from our leader's ability. Gum Gum Red Rock is a 6-cost event that sends an opponent's character to the bottom of their deck with a trigger that targets a 4 or less for the same fate. 3000 Worlds is an oldie but goodie, specifically into 5-cost characters, sending them to the bottom with a trigger that bottoms a 3 or less. And if it's not banned yet at the time of you watching this video, Gum Gum Giant is a 1-cost Dawn -2 event that trashes 1 card from your hand to boost your character or leader by 4k and allows you to draw 2 more cards. This card is also obnoxious in this deck as you become incredibly sturdy and your when attacking doesn't care that you -2 Dawn when you can get it back the same curve you were at the turn you played it. With all those cards out of the way, what's our overall strategy? Well, punting our opponent's characters back to their hand or deck, growing the number of our events in trash, and with the events that help punt their board away, we become pretty annoying ourselves. We're pretty great into decks like Bonnie, given we understand combat sequencing, the new Blue Kuzan, and funnily enough, Reiju. But we're really bad into anything that doesn't run 4-cost characters like Blue Purple Luffy, things with super high aggression like Rayleigh, and Green Zoro. Seems like both Toei and Bandai have an agenda. And as always, here are a couple of decks to get you started. This deck placed first in a 9-round event in Japan, while this deck took first in a 4-round event in Japan. And if you're looking for more leader guides or more fun One Piece content, please check out the channel and subscribe.